All right, we live. All right, clapping it up. Hey, Shalom Yabashim Yawashah Brakatah to the brothers. Shalom Shamar Adam Bashim Yawashah to the sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started off at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York. And since 1969, we have been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans their true identity and reclaiming their culture from the Bible. All right. And under the grace of Commander General Yohana, you got brothers like myself and all over the United States that's able to hop on here and give our people back the history that our oppressors stole from us. And not only that, they didn't just take it from us, they trying to call themselves the children of Israel. All right. And in today's scripture breakdown, we gonna be escaping the lies of our oppressor. All right. First and foremost, I am Precinct Officer 50, Bania, coming to you from Gary, Indiana, holding it down on Mondays. And this one is an early one, y'all. This is an early class, switching it up the game on y'all. So today we gonna be diving into how we can escape the lies of our oppressor. The first thing that we can do, the first way we can escape the lies of our oppressor is first by stop celebrating the holidays. You didn't heard this ad nauseum. Why? Because we just had Christmas. Before that, we had Thanksgiving. Before that, we had Halloween. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna keep it PG. But now I'm gonna mess up all your New Year's plans. And this whole week, if you somebody that want to celebrate New Year's and everything, I would just advise for you not to tune into class because we messing up all the New Year's plans. We gonna give you the true history of New Year's. We gonna be breaking down why it's a sin to be celebrating New Year's. You the same disgusting bastard that you was in 2025 and years prior, and you thinking that you finna on January 1st, that you finna go into the new year as a new person, as a new me. That ain't gonna happen. Whatever you think you're gonna do, you're gonna stop it in about a week. Why? Because it's not for you to celebrate that, not for you to join into the traditions and the cultures of our oppressor by thinking that, oh, it's gonna be a new year and I'm just gonna change it to a new person. No, you're not. Stop being deceived. Stop embracing the lies of our oppressor. All right. What's gonna happen is you go celebrate New Year's and you better hope and pray to the Most High that you don't get into some type of fatality, because that's what we're gonna go over today. All right. That's what we're gonna be breaking down today. And if you tuning into this, like, share, and comment on the stream on the live. I appreciate anybody that's tuning in with me. I know a lot of brothers and sisters, they probably still at the slave or whatever. The kids off of school, but you still got to be a slave. All right. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm gonna be getting into my first story right here. All right. This is the slave's dread. Basically, this is the history of New Year's. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all we want to do is just have a good time, not knowing that we at a place where we can't be celebrating. How the heck do you look celebrating and being happy while you are a slave? You got to go to work. If you don't work, you pretty much dead, because you ain't gonna be able to pay your bills for your house. You ain't gonna be able to keep lights on. You ain't gonna be able to play nothing, no games, no nothing. But for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we think it's just a time to celebrate. It's like we've been trained to be celebrating these things that our oppressor gave us. We've been trained to celebrate New Year's and Christmas and Halloween and every other holiday. That's what we've been trained to do in this empire. But thanks, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah to the ISUPK. Now we can go ahead and dispel that. We can break down all that. We don't have to sit here and thinking that, oh, I have to celebrate the New Year's. Why? Because your oppressor told you to do that. And we saying to hell with our oppressor, man. So while us Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we just thinking like, oh, it's just a time to celebrate and time to party. There is a deep rooted issue, a deep history with New Year's Day, January 1st. And this is an article I found, and this is what they used to do to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. While we thinking that, oh, I'm just gonna watch the ball drop. Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm a new person. You still disgusting. You still horrible. You still a drug addict, a whoremonger, a 304. You still all that. Just because you celebrating your oppressor's holiday ain't gonna change none of that. But let me go ahead and give you straight from this article the true history, the grim history of January 1st. And we're gonna be breaking down a lot of stuff. It ain't just the fact that this day is just wicked for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but if you just new tuning in, guess what? When you celebrate January 1st, New Year's, guess what? You also celebrating a God too. I bet you didn't know that, but we're gonna get right into that. All right. So this is coming from time.com, a trusted magazine source, a trusted source of information right here. You can find a Time magazine up in the store right now. Everything is all digital, but you'll still find one of them. All right. This is the Slaves Dread, New Year's Day, the worst. The grim history of January 1st. New Year's Day, pow, pow, pow. We letting off shots. We popping shots. It's a new year, new me, right? Let's go ahead and see how this disgusting holiday, how it was on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. Americans are likely to think of New Year's Eve and New Year's Day as a time to celebrate the fresh start that a new year represents. There we go. We thinking that it's a new year, new me. Hey, it's a new year. We're gonna be better. No, you're not, and it's gonna be more horrible outcomes to come in that year than it is in this year. All right, to celebrate the fresh start that a new year represents. But there's also a troubling side to the holidays' history. In the years before the Civil War, the first day of the new year was often a heartbreaking one for enslaved people in the United States, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because it wasn't just black people getting enslaved. You got a lot of, uppity Negroes that think that, oh, we was just the only ones getting enslaved. No, it was Hispanics and Native Americans as well. All right. That's why they say enslaved people. All right. In the African American community, New Year's Day used to be widely known as Hiring Day or Heartbreak Day. New Year's Day. That's what they're saying right here in this article. As the African American abolitionist journalist William Copper Nail described it, because enslaved people spent New Year's Eve waiting, wondering if their owners were going to rent them out to somewhere else, thus potentially splitting up their families. So while we too busy, I'm gonna pause on this. So while we too busy popping shots, letting off shots, oh yeah, we're gonna go into this new year and we go kick it, this and that. Oh, New Year's party. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we like to party. But we doing this for the worst reason. We doing this for the worst reason. We doing this because our oppressor told us to do. That's one thing that we need to first come to the conclusion of. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he tells you when to celebrate a holiday. He tells you when you can have time off to spend with your family. He tells you that, hey, this day right here, this is where you go celebrate. You know, to hell with all the holidays that we were given in the Bible that Yahweh gave us. Passover is coming up in April. You know what I mean? We just had the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, not that long ago. But you too busy. Oh, I gotta go and cash out for my kids on December 25th. I gotta give credit to a white man that he coming down the chimney and he giving my kids presents when I didn't work all year around to try to make sure that they had, to try to fit into the society. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and get back to this. Wondering if their owners were going to rent them out to someone else, thus potentially splitting up their families. The renting out of slave labor was a relatively common practice in the antebellum South and a profitable practice for white slave owners and hirers. Hiring Day, which is what New Year's Day was called back when we were enslaved, was part of the larger economic cycle in which most debts were collected and settled on New Year's Day, says Alexis McCrossan, an expert on the history of New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and a professor of history at Southern Methodist University who writes about Hiring Day in her forthcoming book, Times touched on we can go ahead and skip past that. That's just her plugging her book. Some enslaved people were put up for auction that day. So that day that we going out and oh yeah, new me, new year, new me. Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. Nigga, you ain't going to no gym. You probably gonna go there for one day and you go quit it. You gonna go back to doing all the drugs in the book. Or I'm gonna eat healthier this year. I'm gonna give you maybe a week. It's like every year that you hear about somebody's New Year resolution, it gets less and less. Like before, like Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, we're gonna go like a week or two, 2 weeks before you go right back to that disgusting person who you always been, who you were basically programmed to be. All right, because it's not like we came out the womb wanted to do this. Something in us had to make us want to do that. You see, in all the destruction of our communities, all the crime, you know what I mean? All the oppression does to a person. It make you want to turn to doing this to try to alleviate your pain that you see on the TV. It make you turn to do something that's bad to you that would degrade you because of what you see on the internet. But we need to know that at the end of the day, that's not what we need to do. That's what destroys us. That's what our oppressor gave us to destroy us. All right. Some enslaved people were put up for auction that day or held under contracts that started in January. These transactions also took place all year long, and contracts could last for different amount of time. These deals were conducted privately amongst families, friends, and business contracts. Like they were taking crafty counsel on us. All these contracts were held privately. So while they sitting right there and they just hoping, like, man, I hope that my family don't get ripped apart. I hope that, I can see my kids. I hope that, my wife don't get taken away from me and get raped by some nasty white man and get turned into a degenerate, degenerate slave. I'm trying to keep it PG, a sex slave. I'm hoping. You know what I mean? They were in the background saying, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to take her. We're going to take him. We're going to take the kid. We're going to take the little girl. We're going to take the little boy. We're gonna take the older dude too, because we're going to need him for him to control these people. That's what they was doing behind closed doors. So while you sitting there celebrating New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and you thinking like, oh, I'm just celebrating a day. It's just a day for my family to get together. You got 365 days of a year that you can go ahead and celebrate with your family. Yeah, you're gonna do it right now. You're gonna do it when the oppressor tells you go, tells you to do it. Like a good slave, like a good trained slave. When it's time for, your kids to receive some gifts, oh, we're gonna wait until your birthday. We're gonna wait until Christmas. You do it when the oppressor tells you to do it. You do it when the oppressor tells you, okay, now this is when I'm gonna need for you to do it. Now this is when I'm gonna have you celebrate these holidays. Because guess what? All you're trying to do is fit into this society that was never given for us to fit in. And the Constitution, I don't know if y'all know this, but we still legally classified as 3/4 of a human being, not even a full human being. So what the hell are we doing celebrating a day? Now that I'm bringing out this history to you, what the hell are we doing celebrating a day that was a day that was a celebration for our oppressors to sell us, to do all these heinous acts to us? While we sitting there, while our ancestors were sitting there with our kids, while hugging their kids, just hoping that I hope I don't get chosen. They back there like, yeah, we want that and we want that. Like they a kid at the candy store, like they, at a shoe store. Yeah, I want them fours, and I'm gonna get them fives, and I'm gonna get these 12s. They said, yeah, I want that Negro. I need this one. I need her. They was taking crafty counseling with her. I'm gonna get to some scriptures, time allow, but I really wanted to hit home on these articles so that if you knew tuning in, you know the history behind this disgusting holiday. All right. These deals were conducted privately amongst families, friends, and business contracts, and slaves were handed over in town squares, on courthouse steps, and sometimes simply on the side of the road. I mean, like literally, they was just like cattle. Like, oh, here's the biggest horse, and here's the littlest horse, and here's this. You ever seen them photos of slaves just auction blocks? That's the best way I could describe it. They were literally on auction blocks. They was on courthouse steps, what the article says, and town squares, in the middle of a town square on an auction block, or simply on the side of the road. Like, come on now. This is what they was doing to our people back then. But new year, new me, right? This disgusting holiday, to hell with these disgusting holidays, man. To hell with New Year's Eve. I guess they intertwine with each other. When this article is telling you what they used to do on New Year's Eve, or back then what it was called, hiring day or heartbreak day. All right. According to Divided Mastery, Slave Hiring in America South by Jonathan D. Martin. So you got scholars that's going back and they finding all of this information about what used to happen to us. Yet the number one people that's gonna have a New Year's Day party, that's gonna kick it, going to New Year's, New Year, New Me, are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Well, all these atrocities were done to us on this day. Let's continue. Accounts of the cruelty of hiring day come from records left by those who secured their freedom. So, you know, thanks to the Most High that these brothers and sisters who were free still kept the record of what happened to them. They kept the record so that this can be information that we can go online and find out today. This ain't nothing but a simple Google search. You can search up anything. I know y'all people, everybody got a smartphone. Everybody could just go on Google and be like, what is the true history behind New Year's? You ever thought to yourself that? What's the true history of Christmas? What y'all just celebrated not that long ago? What's the true history of Easter? What's the true history of what's the next holiday coming up after this? Valentine's Day. That's the next commercialized holiday. What's the history behind it? Why is this a holiday? You know what I mean? Who described spending the day before January 1st, hoping and praying that they hirers will be humane and that their families could stay together. So they hoping that, man, I hope we go to a good family. I hope we don't go to I hope we don't go to a bad white family who like to grape women and cut off the rod of the man and, castrate them and buck break them. I'm praying, I'm hoping. This is what our ancestors had to go through back on January 1st, hiring day, or what we called it, Heartbreak Day. But I guess that's what we're doing now. We just celebrating a day that was dedicated to separating families, a hiring day, as they called it. You know what I mean? That's almost like you putting cattle up and you like, okay, we want this horse, we want this cow, I want this goat, I need this chicken right here. That's what they was doing to us on this day right here. To hell with these holidays. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. That's gonna be a trend. I might have to get that imprinted on a t-shirt or get that hung up back there or something like that. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you should not be celebrating these holidays at all. It is not destined for you to celebrate it. It is not in the Bible for you to celebrate it. You know what I mean? Right here is telling you that this day was dedicated to hurting us. So why are we celebrating a day that was dedicated to hurting us? That's why the title of this class, Escaping the Lies of Our Oppressor, because the oppressor will tell you, oh, this is just a new year. This is just you going into a new year and you can have your New Year's resolution, new year, new you, and you're going to be the same horrible person. You're going to be the same disgusting human being. You're going to be the same human being who was just smoking weed 2 weeks ago. You're going to stop for a week. If that, you might go a couple hours and then you'll be like, man, this ain't hurting me. You was the same disgusting whoremonger, the same disgusting substance abuse user, and you just gonna be like, well, it ain't hurting me. All right, man. Pray to the Most High that nothing happens to you. And like I said, we're gonna get into the fatalities that usually happen around New Year's as well, because this is a good time for everybody to just be out and just party. Like, what's the best way to describe it? Getting white boy wasted. Everybody gonna be out drinking, smoking to the point that they can't even function. But we're gonna get into it. I ain't trying to spoil too much, but we're gonna get back to this article too. Of all days of the year, and this is from an actual slave account back in 1842. This is what he said. All right. Of all days in a year, the slaves dread New Year's Day the worst of any. Pause on that. The slaves dreaded New Year's Day worst of any. Worse than any day of the year. New Year's Day. What will be coming up on Thursday? The slaves dreaded it. And this is said by a slave named Lewis Clark, said it in an 1842 account. Let me repeat that for everybody tuning in. Of all days in the year, the slaves dread New Year's Day the worst of any. Black man, Hispanic man, or Native American man, ask yourself this. why am I going and partying on a day that my ancestors feared? They feared this day worse than any day of the year. Why am I going out and partying? Why am I going out and, you know, getting partying for what? What are you partying for? Your life is still miserable. You still in hell. You just going into, it's just another day, a new year. Still a slave. You still a slave. Why would you even celebrate a day that your ancestors dreaded worse than any day of the year? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. That's why we got to escape the lies of our oppressor, because the oppressor will tell you it's just a day. It's just you going into a new year. This is your time to change yourself. What the hell is you gonna change? I'm still a slave. I'm still oppressed. My people still dying and on drugs. And now on this day, they're gonna be taking it to the absolute max. And then the worst is gonna happen. Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Simple. Because only a devil would go and try to change the history that our ancestors our ancestors feared, and then make it so that it's not too bad. It's not harmful. It's just another day. Only a devil would try to tell you that, man. You know what I mean? On New Year's Day, we went to the auctioneer's block to be hired to the highest bidder for 1 year. 1,000. Let me get this for 1,000. Let me get this young bull for 5,000, 6,000, 10,000. That's what they did to us, man. And we sitting here still celebrating this. That's what they did to us. They took us to auctioneer's block on New Year's Day. While you sitting there, oh, I'm a pop a bottle and I'm going to the club and I'm doing this. They had your ancestors, your great great grandma, your great great grandfather, your uncle, your auntie on auctioneer's block on January 1st. And your dumbass still want to go out there and pop a bottle for what? To celebrate the death of your people? To celebrate the death of your ancestors? Like I said, if you tuning in, hey, Islam Yabashim Yabashah Brakatah, Officer Mapataza, Officer 500 Mapataza. If you watching this right now, man, ask yourself this. What's the glory of celebrating a day that your ancestors feared out of any day? You know what I mean? What's the glory of it? What's the fun of it? If you knew that your great grandma, hell, I even bring it to you now. If your brother was kidnapped, unalived, and then they made a day and they said this is the Great Hope Day, you wouldn't have nothing to do with it. Well, black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, we need to have that same energy here, man. Because on this day, like the article said, we on New Year's Day, we went to the auctioneer's block. On New Year's Day. Come on now. To be hired to the highest bidder for 1 year. This is what they used this year for. 5,000 for this one. 6,000 for this one. Give me 7,000. Playing with our lives, man. Let's keep going. Israel Campbell wrote in a memoir published in 1861 in Philadelphia, in which he describes being hired out 3 times. 3 times. If it wasn't for these brave brothers and sisters keeping this information, we would not have the information today to be able to say on this day, New Year's Day, was the worst day that every slave dreaded. I'm just saying. But let's go ahead and continue with this. That's where that saying comes from, that what you do on New Year's Day, you'll be doing all the rest of the year. Has anybody heard that phrase before? I think I heard it. Let me go ahead and say it again. That's where that saying comes from, that what you do on New Year's Day, you'll be doing all the rest of the year. And that came from our ancestors getting shipped off to the most disgusting oppressor there is. That's where that came from. A former slave known as Sister. Uh-oh, hold on, y'all. Bear with me. I don't know why it took me back up. Slocky. Go ahead and get back to this article here. Okay. All right. Boom. We right back at it. A former slave known as Sister Harrison said in an interview in 1957. So this is Jim Crow, civil rights, going into civil rights, Jim Crow era still. This is a sister that was back then. All right. And this is what she said. Harriet Jacobs wrote a particularly detailed account in the Slave's New Year Day chapter of her 1861 autobiography, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. Hiring Day at the South takes place on the 1st of January, New Year's Day. Niggas like to get dressed, go to the club, stand in the corner, and think that they fly as ever. This is what happened to your ancestors on this day. On the second, the slaves were expected to go to their new. Salakia, let me say that. On the second, the slaves are expected to go to their new masters. On the second, all right, the slaves are. Let me go back up. She wrote, she observed slave owners and farmers renting out their human cattle for extra income during the period between cotton and corn harvest. So these farmers, they were renting out slaves, saying, "Oh, you could take this one for 1 year. Just pay me, however much they wanted to get paid for this. Pay me this much." They were renting out human cattle, during the time that the winter time was approaching, or when the harvest was changing, when they couldn't, during the period between cotton and corn harvest and the next planting season to get extra income. So they used us to get extra income during the period between cotton and corn harvest and the next planting season. From Christmas to New Year, from Christmas to New Year's Eve, many families would wait anxiously to find out whether they would be rented out. So they just playing with people's lives, man. That's what they did to our ancestors. They played with us, man. While we sitting at home dreading, like, we ain't never go see our mothers no more, our fathers anymore, our children anymore. They saying, what we gonna do? I need some extra income. Let me give you these slaves, and you give me this so I can, be cool during the harvest season, you know, for some extra income. And okay, to find out whether they would be rented out and to whom. On New Year's Day, at the appointed hour, the grounds are thronged with men and women and children waiting like criminals to hear their doom, man. So they were lined up in them auctioneer blocks in them town squares where they were playing, "Oh, I want this one. Give me this one. Give me this one." Standing there like criminals. Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man tuning in. Ask yourself, man. Ask yourself, man. What the hell am I doing celebrating this holiday, man? You got to charge yourself. Like, what the hell am I doing? Knowing that all this happened to my ancestors. And this right here, this article right here is just a simple Google search. I ain't saying nothing that you gotta in some, historical textbook that's buried underground. This is on Google. This is from time.com. Time magazine. This came from them. This is something that we need as a people. We need to do our research, man. And the only way you're gonna know how to do actual research, it don't come from school, not what your teacher did. Oh, read 5 books and do a report on them. Come to the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, where you'll be taught how to go back and research. And you'll want to do it because you doing it on your people, man. You ain't doing it on some dead white guy who owns slaves like you did in school. You doing this real history on your people. And I'm not saying that that's not real history, but this right here, who would have known that January 1st was a day where slaves were getting auctioned off? And if you knew that, you're a disgusting human being. If you knew that the whole time and you still continue to go out and do all this nasty stuff in the name of your own lust, you are a disgusting human being. I'm not saying nothing that you don't know. But if you don't know, man, you can still change, man. Stop celebrating these holidays, man. This, like I said, this is a simple Google search. And most importantly, come to class, man. Wherever you might be at, look up isupk.org and get in class immediately. Because without this information wouldn't have been brought up. Because they're not teaching you this in school. They're not teaching you this in your universities. They're not teaching you this in any class course that you didn't took. You're going to find out this only in this school. Simple. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group as well. But let me go ahead and continue. And the next planting season from Christmas to New Year's Eve. Man, so from Christmas, okay? Now here we go. Here we go. Because I was just talking about New Year's, right? But they're mentioning Christmas in this. From Christmas to New Year's Eve, many families would wait anxiously to find out whether they would be renting out and to whom. So from Christmas, Christmas, good old Saint Nicholas, right? Good old Santa, right? Decked the halls with boughs of holly while they was holding your goddamn ancestors on auctioneer blocks like cattle. They even called them human cattle in this. Yet you want to go ahead and continue to celebrate this holiday for whatever reason. Maybe you don't care about your people. Maybe you don't care about your people. You come to the school, you go get taught how to care about your people. All right. On one of these fateful days, Jacob saw a mother lead 7 children to an auction block. She knew that some of them would be taken away from her. So this sister lured out 7 of her children to an auction block, and she knew that they gonna be taken away from her. This is horrible, man. She knew that some of them would be taken away from her, but they took all of them. That's what this article says. She going out there like they might take 1 or 2, which is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to even have that mentality. Like, well, I got 7 kids. Hopefully they'll take 2, and I have 5 left. They took all the kids. You know how you do you know how that mother must have felt then? How does a mother feel when she lose one son, one daughter? Imagine losing 7, and you just got to stand there while these disgusting bastards are sitting right there cheering and applauding and doing, they don't know what heinous nonsense they finna do to these children. The slave trader who took the children wouldn't tell her where he was taking them because it depended on where he could get the highest price. So he was taking these children, and it seemed like it was only one person, which is disgusting. Took them, didn't tell her where he was taking them, and it depends on the highest price. Like, I'm gonna take them to somebody else, and somebody else gonna get these, somebody else gonna get these, somebody else gonna get these. That's how this is how disgusting these people were. The white man is a devil that the Bible speaks of. I ain't trying to hear that, man. Look at how they treated our people on January 1st, man. On January 1st. Jacob said she would never. Okay. Salakia. This page is kind of janky. Let me get right back to where I was. All right. Jacob said she would never forget the mother crying out, "Gone, all gone. Why don't God kill me?" So this mother was in such distress that she was screaming out, "Man, I just want to die, man. All my children are gone. They're all gone." She had no choice but to bring her children out there, and before she knew it, they were gone. Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, what are we doing, man? You just read the story, man. The author that wrote this and the excerpt that they put into this piece right here, she said that she can't forget the mother crying out, "Gone, all gone. Why don't God kill me? Why don't I just die?" She lost all her kids that day on January 1st, hiring day, heartbreak day, as our people used to call it, heartbreak day, because they knew that once they was going up, if you had a family, you was never gonna see your wife again. You was never gonna see your husband again. And in this piece, the sister lost all her kids. All of them was gone. And she was praying to the Lord to just kill him. You know how sick and demented you got to be as a person to sit there and still hear that? Do you know how sick and demented you got to be to still go out on January 1st and celebrate this disgusting holiday, knowing that this will happen to your people? Escaping the lives of our oppressor, coming to the school and getting this knowledge, then you won't have to feel this way. Then you'll be knowing when I don't celebrate Christmas, because they said that this took place from Christmas all the way up this way, all the way up to New Year's. When I come to the school and I get this knowledge and I stop celebrating these holidays, guess what? You're doing a service to your people. And when you celebrate these holidays, you're doing a disjustice to your people, man. You keeping us in the same place that we've been in for the last century, man. Let's continue, man. Enslaved people who attempted to resist going to their new masters were whipped and thrown in jail until they relented and promised not to run away during a new arrangement. So the strong-minded of us that said, you know what, I ain't gonna do this. I ain't finna sit here and get taken away from my wife and my kids. I'm gonna fight back. They were whipped and thrown in jail until they relented. This is history right here that America is gonna have to be charged for. Okay, we praying every day in the school that this place is gonna get destroyed. And I don't know if y'all noticed, this is just a sidebar, but Iran just declared war on the United States. And that's a clappable moment right here because of this story right here and what this sister has to go through on January 1st. What this sister had to go through and what all of our people had to go through 365 days of the year, but we just focusing on January 1st. What this sister had to go through, asking the Most High to kill her because she had all her kids taken away once and then get no single answer from nobody. And when she did ask, the slave master said, I can't tell you until I find me another high bidder. So he was gonna take these kids, do whatever he wants to them, and sell them off. We pray that the Most High destroy this kingdom every day. We pray to the Most High that the Lord destroy this disgusting place. Every every day, all day, we pray for it in Sabbath service. We pray for it during class. Wake up and we just pray that this disgusting kingdom gets destroyed. Because the crimes that our oppressor did to our ancestors, they can't just go unheard. They can't just get turned a blind eye to. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, then, now, and forever. And when that day comes when he gets charged for that, then that's when you'll know you'll be free. All right. So enslaved people who attempted to resist going to their new masters were whipped and thrown in jail until they relented and promised not to run away during the new arrangement. Older slaves were also particularly vulnerable, as Jacobs described one owner trying to hire out a frail, roughly 70-year-old woman because he was moving away. But the history of New Year's Day and American slavery is not all horror. Oh, well, that's them trying to make it seem like, it's not all bad. Man, everything that I just wrote, everything that I just read was horrible. All right. Everything that I read was horrible. When you got people getting lined up on this day, like even the slaves had a name for this day. It wasn't New Year's. It wasn't no New Year's resolution. They named it Heartbreak Day. Heartbreak Day. Because they knew that on this day it's gonna be heartbreak and bloodshed. And we're gonna flip it to today's time too. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and drop that article. And we're gonna go into when you do celebrate this holiday, what are you really celebrating at the end of the day, man? Who are you celebrating? Because everything, I don't know if you know, but everything that you celebrate in this kingdom has ties to gods, man. Gods that are not the one that's found in the Bible, because it's only one God, but gods that are oppressive worship. So when you celebrating New Year's, this is who you really celebrating right here. All right. Not only is you doing a disservice to your people, but you celebrating a Roman god. All right. So this is the article from WeTheItalians.com. Ooh-wee. Janus, the Roman god who represents the celebration of New Year and gives his name to the month of January. So when you celebrating January 1st, when you celebrate New Year's Eve, you really celebrating Janus. You really celebrating the god Janus, a Roman god. In ancient Rome, New Year's Eve was not just a simple calendar transition. It was an extravagant, high energy affair that set the tone for the entire year. The Romans were known for their grand public celebrations. So this whole thing is just a Roman celebration. This whole holiday that's coming up is a Roman celebration. This night was not only a time of reflection, but also one filled with festivals, religious rituals, and lavish displays of wealth and power. But this is just a time for me to kick it with my family. What you stupid blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans say, man. This is just a new year. It's just another day. And this is the only time I get to celebrate with my family. Well, make time throughout the year, nigga. Make time. 365 days out of the year. And you choose this. You choose Christmas. You choose Thanksgiving. You choose, some of y'all niggas choose Halloween. I mean, I don't know. You can't kick it with your family on a regular Saturday. Yeah, you got to work, nigga. Put PTO in. Get everybody together. Take a week off. You work hard. They at least give you a little bit before they be like, nope, you can't do it no more. Use that time. Don't do it when the oppressor tells you to do, because now you celebrating and you giving all your glory to a Roman god. This night was okay, so we already read that. The Romans were masters of throwing a party, and they made sure that New Year's Eve celebrations were as grand as any event in history. New Year's was deeply tied to their religious belief. New Year's. Five, four, three, two, one. And you giving all your glory up to Janus, a Roman god. Come on now. New Year's was deeply tied to their religious belief. The celebration marked the beginning of the month January, which was dedicated to Janus, the god of beginnings and transitions. So, New Year's resolutions. New Year's, oh, I'm 600 pounds. I'm be 100 pounds. Nigga, you ain't nothing, man. I'm gonna stop smoking weed. You finna smoke weed in two minutes. I'm gonna stop being a whoremonger. You finna get on Instagram right now and hit up some hoes now. Cause you went to a New Year's party, giving all the celebration to Janice. You then got, messed up, and you finna go hit on some hoes. That's what you finna do. 304s. Salaki. The god of beginnings and transitions. Janus also depicted with two faces, one looking forward and the other looking back, symbolized the passage of time and the idea of reflection and anticipation. Oh, well, I got to go back and look at how the old year was treating me. You still a slave. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, no no New Year's resolution is going to stop all the atrocities done to you. We still slaves. We still in hell. We still in a time of peril. And we are not free yet. Just because the physical chains is off, in a lot of cases, all it takes is for you to go to jail and really see how the slavery really is. You know what I mean? You can't move around like how you want in this place. I read an article that the majority of the water on earth are owned by companies. Water. And in some states, it's illegal for you to catch rainwater because the state owns the rain. How? How, Sway? How does that even work? You're not free in this empire, man. You still a slave in this empire. No New Year's resolution, no New Year's nothing is gonna take that away from you being a slave, man. And the idea of reflection and anticipation. The Romans will offer sacrifices and prayers to Janus. So that's you on that day. Oh, I'm a kick it. I'm throw a New Year's party. We gonna drink and we gonna celebrate to who? To who? Because the last article I read, slaves were getting auctioned off. That was a day for slaves to get sold on. Heartbreak day. So who are you celebrating? Yourself? Oh yeah, that's what you're doing. Because you're a selfish bastard, man, and you don't care about your people. You care about this Roman god Janus, man. While they offering sacrifices and prayers to Janus and everything. And then back in January, back in 1875, they had slaves on auction blocks, man. They had your people getting sold on Heartbreak Day, hiring day, as they called it. But it was really Heartbreak Day because you don't care about your people enough to say, let me stop doing this, man. Because this is only me giving, glory to when my people were in destruction, when families had to dread that day. The article said, like I just read, the article said that that was the worst day of all days, man. Was hiring day, was January 1st. The day that you're gonna put on your nice club suit, go out to the club and do what? Get messed up. And then you better pray that you can make it back home in one piece. We're gonna get into that too. All right. And the idea of reflection and which was dedicated. Wait, hold on. The Romans will offer sacrifices and prayers to Janus, hoping for a prosperous and harmonious year ahead. That's what everybody do. 2026 is gonna be my year. It's gonna be my year. Nigga, it's gonna be your year for what? For what? For more destruction to happen? For you to be more of a drug addict that you were in 2025? What is gonna be your year? What you gonna do? What you gonna do that you ain't gonna do different this year? Like before, you Negroes had like 2 weeks. Now it only take you like 5 minutes to go right back to the disgusting person you were. Because the New Year's resolution, the New Year's celebration don't mean jack nothing, man. The first day of the year, known as Kalends of January, was observed with various rituals. Romans believed that the god Janus presided over both past and present. Both the past and the future. And they would look to him for blessings on both ends. New Year's Eve itself was about honoring Janus and setting the tone for the year to come. Romans often decorated their homes with symbols of Janus, including images of his two-faced visage, which were meant to invoke good fortune and protection. You niggas out here with these 2026 glasses, man. Just know when you put them 2026 glasses on, you wearing that in honor of Janus, man. You ain't doing that for the Most High, the God of the Bible, the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You doing that as mockery of your people that had to go through getting sold on January 1st. Heartbreak Day, hiring day. Heartbreak Day is what our people called it. As the article said, a mother had all seven of her kids. She going up there thinking like one or two, which is still horrible. You know how much mind, you know, numbing that does to a person? You got seven kids, and maybe one or two of them might get taken, and they take all your goddamn kids. Now you sitting there, and like the article said, the sister got on her knees and cried out to God, "Why don't you just kill me, man?" They took all the kids and didn't tell her nothing. Then when you put on your 2026 glasses, you giving this up to this Roman guy, Janus, man. This is how you feel about your people. Anybody that's out there watching the ball drop, the ball is gonna blow up, man. The ball is I ain't gonna say it, but you better pray that, with this ongoing war that Iran got, that they don't put no mug, no mug, no, I ain't gonna say it, but they don't put no explosives up in there and really show y'all how to get down, man, for the crimes of what you did to our people on that day. And because we're so embedded with the lives of our oppressor, we join in thinking that it's just a New Year's Day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The ball drops. It's 2026 now. I better not get no call from my families talking about, hey, I know I was talking mess behind your back, but now we're gonna go into a new year. Everybody got them families. Yeah, I know we wasn't talking for the whole year. You done sat up here and said whatever you want to say about the school, about whatever. Yeah, man, but we gotta stop that, man. It's a new year, man. And you the same disgusting bastard, man. Simple. All right. New Year's Eve in ancient Rome was also a night of indulgence, with feasts and revelry in abundance. The Romans loved their food and wine, and this was a perfect occasion to indulge in both. So them New Year's parties, the dinners, all that. What you did for pretty much Thanksgiving. Which, I mean, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Let me not exclude that. What y'all basically did for both, man. This is what the Romans did. They ate food, they drank wine to Janus and all that. All right. And this was the perfect occasion to indulge in both. Wealthy Romans would host lavish banquets in their home where guests were treated to luxurious dishes, fine wines, and a feast of entertainment. These parties also went late into the night. That's that, that's them New Year's Day parties. When you go to somebody's house and they want to cook you a meal for New Year's, they want to make you they y'all want to party and celebrate for New Year's. Just harken back to this. Harken back to this. How the Romans did. The same people that killed our king, which they really didn't. But our the people that killed him physically on this earth, man. This is what they did, man. They had wine and luxurious meals and food. Think about that. Think about that when your auntie and your disgusting uncle and your nasty cousins, your whatever, when they invite you over to their house, it's gonna be just like the Romans, man. It ain't gonna be nothing different. What's gonna be different, man? Nothing. It's gonna be just like that. These parties often went late into the night, filled with music, dancing, and extravagant displays of wealth. In addition to the feast, the Romans engaged in a tradition of exchanging gifts on New Year's Eve. The practice was meant to ensure good fortune for the year ahead. This is what they did, man. What that sound like, man? That sound like Christmas and New Year's, man. All giving glory to not the God of this Bible, Yahweh, but giving glory to a Roman pagan heathen god, Janus, with two faces, one in the front, one in the back. Like, come on now. Are you Negroes that silly not to? This came from Google, man. I'm not reading no textbook. This is on my iPhone right now. This is a simple Google search right now. And you telling me you can't go on Google and look this up. You rather just stay embedded in the lies of our oppressor. Well, Brakatha Yahweh Yahweh shot to the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Now you got men that are trained to take those lies out of your head and actually brainwash you. Wash your brain of all that filthy muck that this world gave us, man. Telling us that we got to celebrate Christmas. Telling us that we got to celebrate New Year's. Telling us that we got to celebrate Thanksgiving. And all these nasty holidays that were due, that weren't given to God, that he told us not to even celebrate. You 35 years old and you can't just look at what does this holiday mean? What does this mean? You could look up rap lyrics. Oh, when Young Thug said this on his song, what does that mean? Who is he dissing? So when you sit up here and you celebrating New Year's Day, which coming up and on Thursday, what is this? What is this about? What is this holiday about? And then you find out the true history of it, and you got two choices: either you hate your people and you're going to continue to celebrate that and feed into your own lust and continue to see your people perish, or you're going to stop celebrating these holidays, do some research on this, come to the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge and stop other brothers from doing the same mistake that we all did, man. We all was there. We all celebrated that, but we'll never do it again. Why? Because we love our people and we love the Most High. And the Most High says to love your brother, man. And if you love your brother, you wouldn't even celebrate this holiday, nor keep your other brothers and sisters celebrating this as well. All right. The Romans engaged in a tradition of exchanging gifts on New Year's Eve. The practice was meant to ensure good fortune for the year ahead, and the gifts were often symbolic of prosperity and good luck. Common gifts included small figurines, food, and other tokens of goodwill. The exchange of gifts was not just about materialism, it was a social ritual that helped strengthen relationships between friends, family, and political allies. The festivals of ancient Rome's New Year's Eve were not reserved only for the elite. While the upper class, hold on, while the upper classes enjoyed lavish banquets, even the common people could participate in the celebrations, albeit in different ways. So this is just like what you would do at your auntie's house, your grandma's house, celebrating all these disgusting, having all this nasty food, passing out gifts to people who shouldn't even deserve it. You know what I mean? You know what you're doing, man. You sitting here and you celebrating this holiday that's dedicated to this pagan god, Janus, man, and doing everything that in this article that I'm reading, man. This is only the history of this. And it applies so well to you disgusting, filthy people out there, brothers and sisters, according to the Bible, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans celebrating this holiday, man. Let me go ahead and get back to it. Public events were held in the streets where citizens could gather to celebrate with music and dance. The contrast between the opulence of arist- aristocracy and the exuberance of the common folk created a dynamic energy throughout the city. All right. So we're going to go ahead and drop that. That's what I just wanted to give you a little background on not only what New Year's Day was to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, how it was called Heartbreak Day, and the day that they coined phrase was the worst day of all days, 365 days, and this was the worst. Where this was a day where they would get sold to the extreme. And this right here was an article showing you who you giving your glory to on this day. Because you giving your glory not to the God of the Bible, Yahweh. You giving your glory to the God Janus, the Roman god Janus. Okay? Doing everything in this article that these Romans did. But now I'm going to show you what happens on, New Year's Day, man. And this is coming again, like I said, this is a quick Google search. Because everything that I just showed you right now, Janus, you know, and what you giving glory to and what this holiday is, which is a Roman holiday. This is what Google says, man, about New Year's Day. We still in 2025. This is what they said was the estimate of reports happening. Because guess what? You're going to be at them parties. You'll get messed up. You're going to get high. You're going to get drunk. And guess what? It's going to be time to go home soon. You can't party forever, right? I don't know what there is to party about, but you can't party forever, right? So this is a report, right, from the National Safety Council for New Year's Day. For New Year's Day 2025, initial reports indicate around 78 deaths from gun violence around across. Hold on. Okay, let me go ahead and drop down to this. No, actually, I'm gonna read this. Across the U.S. on New Year's Eve/day, with estimates suggesting potential over 100 plus additional traffic fatalities during the holiday period. So drinking all the liquor. I'm gonna get, and a lot of y'all, it ain't just liquor. Y'all gotta increase it more, add more to that, right? I'm gonna get so messed up on this day. What is you even partying for? The celebration of Heartbreak Day, Hiring Day? Is that what we celebrating? We celebrating the our ancestors getting, they called us human cattle, getting potted up onto a on auctioneer blocks. They said that they even had them on the side of the road and on courthouse steps. Hey, come on, come on. We got 7 children here. They strong as ox. Look at this one. He's a good looking one. He a good boy right here. He can lift up all the stuff. You celebrating a mother screaming, praying to God to just strike her down, to unalive her because of the fact that she had all 7 of her kids getting taken away? That's what you celebrating? Let me continue with this. With traffic fatalities during the holiday period, though specific final counts take time and data varies by source. Okay, so here's the key figures and sources, right? Gun violence. The Gun Violence Archive recorded over 200 shootings, resulted in 78 deaths and 197 injuries from New Year's Eve through New Year's Day 2025. 2025. This is the holiday that you celebrate, a holiday that's dedicated to death and just the worst of us. A holiday that's dedicated to unaliving, to the unaliving of a people, man. You know what I mean? Motor vehicle crashes. The National Safety Council estimated around 179 fatalities might occur. Wait. No, that was just gun violence. New Year's Day. Let me go to the actual source of this. All right. Salaki. If you tuning in, like, share, and comment on the stream, man. Hey, Shalom Yabba Shem Yasha Brakatah. Precinct Officer of Azan, Precinct Officer of 500, Azan tuning in. The water for tuning in, out of one. All right. So this is all that happened. Let me make sure that this is 2025. All right. So this right here doesn't give the actual account of that. So we're gonna drop that. But that just give y'all a little insight on this disgusting holiday where people get unalive, they get into car accidents and fatalities, and it's so bad that the National Safety Council, because here's my next one, and this just shows you why this is a day that we shouldn't be celebrating. Because the National Safety Council is already prepping for people to be unalive during this day. This is what they're saying. So this was actually my next one. So we went right into it. The National Safety Council, all right. New Year's Day holiday period estimate for 2026. So on Thursday, this is what they estimating how many fatalities, how many unalives is going to be. Isn't that ain't that something, man? They already saying like, yeah, these people they gonna get too messed up. It's gonna be so many fatalities on this day because what they celebrating a pagan day, a holiday that was never given to us, a holiday that's not in these scriptures, man. We just came from celebrating the feast of dedication to Hanukkah. I ain't hear about no brother or sister getting into no car accident. I ain't hear about 400 people getting unalive from gunshots. We came together as one big family and celebrated thing. But you celebrate a day that was never for you to celebrate, a day that was actually in mockery of us, Heartbreak Day, a day that the Roman god Janus was giving glory to. And then guess what? You get into a car accident, and you might have not been the one that was under the influence. The person who was driving the car was under the influence, or you get hit with a stray bullet. That's what they're saying. But this is what they're saying, the estimate. This is what they're predicting is going to happen actually this upcoming Thursday. The National Safety Council estimates that 429 people may be unalive on U.S. roads this New Year's Day holiday period. I mean, come on now. You celebrating a day that they already got, like, yeah, they finna be unalive. You know how much you got to be in hell to still continue to do something, how much of a slave, and how your brain got to be muddied up for you to still be on here and be like, well, I'm gonna celebrate, I'm gonna celebrate New Year's Day. I'm gonna celebrate this holiday. I don't care about my people. I care about myself. I care about going to the club. I care about eating a meal that's not given to the Most High. I'm sorry to break your heart, but it's not. I mean, goddamn, you can't even go to the goddamn grocery store and get something to eat because everybody, oh, I gotta go ahead and get stock up for New Year's Day. For New Year's Day. To hell with New Year's Day. To hell with that. And we don't celebrate that, man. We don't celebrate that because we love our people. We still mourn for that sister that had all her kids taken. We mourn for them brothers and sisters that was put on auctioneer blocks for Heartbreak Day, as the white man says, hiring day, which took place on January 1st, which our people coin phrase the worst day of the year. We mourn for them. But this is what the National Safety Council said about what's going to be the predicament about what's coming on this Thursday. And if you're tuning in, like I said, like, share, comment on the stream. Throughout for everybody tuning in. I know that this is an early class, little sidebar. I know that this is an early class, but like I said, I'm ruining things. Well, we ruined Thanksgiving, we ruined Christmas, and we're gonna ruin New Year's Eve and day. We're gonna ruin this holiday because it's for your best interest. To tell you the truth, man, we're gonna ruin New Year's. It's over. New Year's is canceled this whole week. Every class, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, ruined. So if you tuning into these classes, man, brace for impact. You ain't gonna want to celebrate New Year's after this. All right. Estimates that 429 people may be unalived on U.S. roads this New Year's Day holiday period, slightly above the 6-year average of 423 fatalities experienced over New Year's Day holidays of the same length. Holidays traditionally are a time of travel for families across the United States. Many choose car travel, which have the highest fatality rate of any major form of motorized transportation based off of fatalities per passenger mile. Holidays are often also cause of celebrations involving alcohol consumption, a major contributing factor to motor vehicle crashes. Like I said, everybody gonna be out there turning up. I'm gonna get lit for what? For the death of your people? What you getting lit for? Janus, the god of the Roman god, who got two faces, one to see the past and forward? I mean, come on. When are we gonna stop being silly? New Year's Day is observed on January 1st. The New Year's Day holiday period varies from 1.25 to 4.25 days in length, depending on the day. All right, so that pretty much said that. I just wanted to bring out that little article, basically detailing how they already predicting for people to be unalive. Like how much of a disgusting bastard you got to be to just be sitting here like, yeah, we predicting it's gonna be like 500 fatalities. Yeah, people gonna be drinking. Like it's almost known that celebrating this holiday is going to cause you death. Celebrating any holiday that's not um given within the scriptures of the Bible that the Most High didn't design for us to celebrate is a sin. And we know that the wages of sin are death. And that's what this basically is saying. That when you celebrate this, the National Safety Council is already saying that 429 people are estimated to be unalived by just driving down the street, maybe getting hit with a stray bullet. I mean, come on now. We're going to have to take our mind and escape the lies of our oppressor, man. Because when we internalize it and we celebrate it, then guess what? We get unalived because it was never for us to celebrate these holidays, man. Never for us to do that. Let me see. Let me go back to on. Let me just go ahead and get this statistic on New Year's. I just had it. Slock it. Bear with me. The water for everybody tuning in, as always. All right, so we can't find that article. So I'm gonna go ahead and start closing it out with this scripture, man. So we can go ahead. I am keep you off for that long. All right. Boom. So this is the book of Amos, chapter 5, starting at verse 21. I hate, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So if the Most High is saying that he hates and he despises your feast days, what makes you think that when you going out and you celebrating thus said feast days that are not designated in the Bible, that you just gonna get off scot-free? What makes you think that when you go in and you sitting at your mother's table, sitting around family members that and did so many disgusting things to you, that everything is just gonna be hunky dory, man? You going down the street just to grab grab some more foil or something because everybody over here getting drunk. A fight might break out. Somebody might get unalive. You go outside and it's 10 o'clock and they already shooting, and then you get hit with a straight bullet. You know what I mean? The Most High is saying right here that he hates, he despises your feast days, and he will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He ain't smelling that, man. He ain't smelling it. He don't care about what you put down. He don't care about none of that. It's disgusting to him. And you thinking that you finna just go out here and just celebrate it and everything gonna be all cool. That's not what the Most High said, man. Let me go ahead and repeat verse 21 again for the people who didn't hear me, for the people in the back. I hate, I despise your feast days, New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. What's before that? 4th of July, you know, Easter, Valentine's Day. He hates your feast days. Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings, though you sit at that table, praying up to the Most High, oh, pray over this pork and these chitlins and this ham, and pray over this. It can even be lawful food. Pray over this chicken and this turkey and this and that. He ain't hearing none of that. He ain't hearing none of that. You sitting up here and you trying to give it up to him. It ain't going up to him, man. He ain't hearing none of that. You celebrating this Roman holiday dedicated to Janus, dedicated to the unaliving of your people. Why the hell would the Most High hear that? Why would he accept it? Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. So he ain't accepting that. When you say, please, please, glory to God, Jesus, hallelujah. He ain't hearing that, man. He ain't hearing that. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. So that's all that meat that you got at the table, man. All that meat that you got at, the table, and you sitting there, you're like, oh, Jesus, please take this meat and take this chitlins and take this pork ham hogs and pork ears, whatever y'all be eating, man. He ain't hearing that. Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs. I don't even know this song for New Year's. I ain't even gonna attempt to even try to find it out. But that little dun dun, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. He ain't hearing that. He ain't hearing that. He didn't hear Deck the Halls. He didn't hear none of that. What is you doing, man? What is you doing singing these pagan songs to the Most High, trying to give glory to him? For what? Being around people who don't deserve for you to be around. Being around people who did so many filthy and disgusting things, but y'all gotta come around for Christmas. But you gotta come around for New Year's. But you gotta come around for Thanksgiving. The Most High ain't hearing none of that, man. He don't care about it. You ain't giving glory to him. You giving glory to the Roman god Janus, January 1st. You giving glory to, the white man on January Slacky. You giving glory to the white man on January 1st. You giving glory to him on December 25th. And on January 1st, like I brought out in that article, it's a mockery to our people to even be celebrating, man. What they coined phrase heartbreak day, because families were getting ripped away from each other. Kids were getting sold on auction blocks like human cattle. That's who you giving glory to, man. And if you're a Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, this is your opportunity now, listening to my classes and every class that'll be coming on. Because I ain't the only one, man. We got classes that's coming on right after me, that's on right now. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. We'll be right back at it for Gary, Indiana. Tuesday with Officer Ashayar and Raj Karab. Officer of 1,000 Ashayar and Officer 500 Raj Karab. We'll be right back at it on Tuesdays, dispelling the lies that our oppressor gave us, man. And we gonna help our people escape the lies of our oppressor. Escape having to feel like you gotta celebrate New Year's. Escape having to feel like you gotta celebrate Christmas. Any day, any holiday that come up. We gonna help you escape that, man. We gonna help you escape it. And if you love your people, you'd want to escape it. You'll be running as fast as possible. You'll be going faster than I show speed. You'll be running as fast as possible, man. Because this place is going down, and it's going down fast. We got wars and rumors of wars happening. Iran just said that they're going to war with the United States. And why shouldn't they, man? Blow this whole place up because of the sisters and the brothers that you sold on auction blocks like cattle, for the children that you ripped out of the sisters' hands and had her drop to her knees praying to the Most High to just strike her down, because she going up there already with the mindset that, yeah, I'm gonna have a few kids taken away from me, and they take all the kids. The white man is the devil, then, now, and forever. And like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Paraphrasing what the scriptures say, man. So if you Black, Hispanic, or Native American, man, stop celebrating New Year's, man. Don't do it. It's just another day, man. You going into the year like it's yesterday. Ain't nothing different. If you want to go to the gym, you can start now. You don't have to start on New Year's. Hell, start a month later. Start a couple days later. Don't do it when the white man says, "Oh, this is your time for New Year's, resolution. It's time for the change." That ain't gonna work, man. It's been articles that came out that said people dropped that in about a day. What is that? About a day now? It used to be like a week or two. Now it's a day. So with that, I'm Precinct Officer 50, Banya, holding it down on Mondays for Gary, Indiana, man. Make sure you pay your tithes, man. We got the 57th annual Passover coming up April 4th. You know what I mean? Pay your tithes, pay your tithes, pay your tithes. And with that, Israel, I'm out. Shalom.